Welcome to this special episode of Mastering Business Etiquette in Asia. I'm Dr. Steve Bird, and I've spent the last 20 years working across Asia as a business consultant. Over these 2 decades, I've had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the rich diversity and unique cultural practices that shape business success in this region. Understanding etiquette. Etiquette, the unspoken rules of human decency that can make or break a deal faster than you can say oops. In Asia, these rules are often infused with layers of tradition and respect, making them fascinating and occasionally a bit of a minefield for the unprepared. Josie Roberts, author of Business Etiquette, Your Questions and Answers, describes etiquette as conventional rules of polite behavior. In the Asian context, these conventions might include bowing in Japan, offering business cards with both hands in China, or ensuring you don't accidentally write someone's name in red ink unless you're cursing them, and we'd hope that's not on your agenda. At its core, etiquette means showing sensitivity to the needs and feelings of others. In Asia, this could be as simple as pouring tea for the person next to you before serving yourself, or knowing when to sit silently and let the senior person speak. These gestures, small as they seem, can win respect and admiration. Why bother with etiquette? Because in Asia, it's not just good manners, it's serious business. Let's look at how etiquette impacts the workplace, branding. Imagine this, you're at a meeting in Korea, and instead of bowing or exchanging cards in the right order, you dive into your presentation like a caffeine-fueled storm. The result? Your business may seem as disorganized as your manners. By following local customs, you build a brand that says, I care enough to respect your culture. Customer care. Whether it's a handshake in Malaysia or a courteous Y in Thailand, respectful interactions show clients that their business matters. Pro tip, don't try combining gestures. A bow shake hybrid might lead to a tumble. Employee engagement. Good manners grease the wheels of team collaboration. In hierarchical cultures like Japan's, respecting the senior member's opinion before chiming in can save you from an awkward meeting silence that echoes louder than a karaoke ballad. Team synergy. Understanding and respecting cultural cues, such as not interrupting someone mid-sentence in India, fosters a more cohesive team. The smoother the relationships, the fewer office drama plot twists you'll encounter. Meet Ramesh, an eager junior executive who's just been invited to his first big client meeting in Singapore. He arrives dressed impeccably, armed with a killer presentation and a loud ringtone that blasts Bollywood hits mid-meeting. Cue the room falling silent, not in admiration, but in horror. Enter his colleague Priya, who gracefully smooths over the situation. She turns off Ramesh's phone, whispers an apology, and shifts the focus back to the client. Later, she advises Ramesh on silencing his phone and following Singapore's cultural preference for muted tones and muted behavior during meetings. Lesson learned, technology off, manners on. No one gets etiquette right all the time, especially not in the nuanced and diverse business cultures of Asia. But with a little preparation and a dose of humility, you can sidestep the most glaring faux pas. Here are a few common blunders and how to handle them. The great business card, fumble. In many Asian countries, the business card exchange is a sacred ritual. You don't just toss your card across the table like it's a flyer for the local pizza shop. Present it with 2 hands, and for goodness sake, take a moment to actually read the card you're handed before tucking it away respectfully. Bonus points if you comment on it with genuine interest. I see you're from XYZ Corporation. I've heard great things about your work. Pro tip, don't put the card in your back pocket, especially in front of its owner, unless you want to signal that their information belongs exactly where you sit. Name. Game confusion. You're in a meeting in Thailand, and someone introduces themselves as Mr. Chaiwat, do you call him Chai? No. In Thailand, using first names with Kun, a polite title, is the way to go. In Korea, on the other hand, you'd address someone by their family name and title, unless invited to use their first name. Moral of the story? When in doubt, err on the side of formality, or discreetly ask a colleague for guidance. The silence, misinterpretation. Silence in Western cultures often feels awkward, but in many Asian settings, it's a sign of thoughtfulness and respect. Resist the urge to fill every gap in conversation with your latest anecdote about skydiving. If you're met with silence after a question, let the pause sit. They're likely considering your words carefully. Think of etiquette as a pebble tossed into a pond. The ripples spread far beyond the initial splash. Here's how your actions can influence those around you. Building bridges, not walls. By showing respect for traditions, you signal that you're interested in collaboration, not domination. This can be as simple as knowing that in China, the host pours the tea first, or refraining from pointing your chopsticks at someone. It's just rude and vaguely threatening, winning hearts and minds. In hierarchical cultures like Japan or South Korea, respecting seniority isn't just about protocol, it's about harmony. A small gesture, such as allowing the most senior person to speak first, can create a sense of mutual respect that goes a long way. Avoiding embarrassment for everyone. A faux pas doesn't just affect you, it can make others uncomfortable too. For instance, wearing overly casual attire to a meeting in Malaysia might not just reflect poorly on you, it could make your host feel they've underdressed as well. Imagine this scenario. You're attending a business dinner in Vietnam. The host has ordered an elaborate spread of dishes, and the senior executive hasn't yet touched their food. What should you do? A. Dive in, you're starving. B. Politely wait until the host or senior executive begins eating. C. Pretend you're not hungry, just to be extra polite. Correct answer. B. Always wait for the senior member or host to start eating before you do. This shows deference and respect, and ensures you don't accidentally swipe the prized dish they reserved for themselves. Etiquette isn't about being perfect, it's about being thoughtful. The key to mastering Asian business etiquette is simple. Be observant, ask questions, and when in doubt, smile. But not too much. Grinning like a Cheshire cat might come across as insincere. With practice, these gestures will become second nature, paving the way for meaningful and successful professional relationships. Networking in Asia can feel a bit like navigating a dinner buffet. You don't want to appear too eager, but you also don't want to leave with an empty plate. Whether it's a formal conference or a casual coffee meeting, the key to success lies in balancing humility with confidence and understanding the nuances of the culture you're stepping into. Introductions in Asia often go beyond just exchanging names. They're a mini showcase of respect, awareness, and adaptability. Nail these 3 steps and you'll make an impression that lasts. Project warmth and confidence, but not too much. In many Asian countries, subtlety is admired. Standing tall, with a confident yet calm demeanor, is ideal. Don't come across as overly assertive. You're not auditioning for a Broadway show. Smile gently. Establish eye contact, except in cultures where it's less common, like some parts of Japan. And nod slightly when greeting someone. The name game. Stick to using formal titles unless told otherwise. For instance, in Malaysia and Singapore, you might use Mr. or Ms, followed by the person's surname. In countries like India, where hierarchy is king, address someone by their professional title, e.g. Dr. Sharma or Engineer Patel. Always double-check the pronunciation. Nothing derails a good first impression faster than mispronouncing a host's name. Pro tip. If you're introduced to someone with a nickname like Sunny or Cherry, don't laugh. Many Asians adopt English nicknames to make things easier for foreigners. Respect their choice and use it. Card swap mastery. Business cards are more than just contact details. They're symbols of professionalism. Always present your card with two hands and ensure it's facing the recipient. Accept theirs the same way. And take a moment to admire it before putting it in a card holder. Never your back pocket. We're not barbarians here. To make your mark, remember the 3 C's. Confidence, competence, and credibility. Confidence. A strong yet humble presence wins hearts. Think of it as walking the line between I've got this and I'm here to learn. Competence. Be prepared. In Asia, your knowledge is often your strongest introduction. Know your craft and avoid winging it. This isn't karaoke night. Credibility. Punctuality speaks volumes. Showing up late to a meeting in Japan or South Korea can make you look unserious. Pro tip: arrive 5 minutes early, just not so early that you catch your host mid-lunch. You're in a room with executives from different Asian countries. How do you handle the handshakes? China. A gentle grip is appreciated with a slight nod. Avoid pumping their arm like you're trying to start an old lawnmower. India. The handshake may linger longer than in Western cultures. Don't pull away too quickly or you'll seem rude. Thailand. No handshake here. Instead, press your palms together in a Y and bow slightly. A firm handshake might feel as awkward as wearing flip-flops to a board meeting. Minimizing nervousness. Networking can be nerve-wracking, especially when you're trying to decode cultural nuances. Here's how to keep your cool. Do your homework. Research the people you'll meet. Knowing that your client in Japan loves golf, or that your Malaysian counterpart studied in the UK, can give you conversational gold. Practice makes perfect. Rehearse your introduction until it rolls off your tongue like a melody. If possible, practice with someone familiar with the culture to refine your approach. Embrace the pause. Silence isn't the enemy. In many Asian cultures, a pause signifies reflection. Don't fill the gap with nervous chatter. Let the silence do its job. Using business cards effectively. Business cards in Asia are a big deal. Bigger than they are in most Western contexts. Follow these golden rules to ensure you're remembered for the right reasons. Always have plenty of cards on hand. Running out mid-conference is akin to showing up without your trousers. Keep them pristine. No dog-eared edges or coffee stains. Invest in a sleek card holder. Never write on someone's card in their presence. It's considered disrespectful. Save your notes for later. Practical illustration. Rahul, a marketing manager from India, attended his first networking event in Shanghai. Armed with his flashy new business cards, he confidently handed one to Mr. Zhang, a senior executive. Unfortunately, Rahul forgot to use both hands. Mr. Zhang accepted the card, but seemed less enthusiastic. Later, a colleague advised Rahul about the importance of presenting cards respectfully in Chinese culture. The next day, Rahul corrected his approach, earning smiles and nods from everyone he met. Closing thought for Chapter 2. Networking isn't just about collecting contacts. it's about building relationships that last. By mastering the nuances of introductions, business cards, and first impressions in Asia, you'll not only expand your professional circle, but also leave behind a trail of respect and goodwill. And remember, every handshake, smile, and bow is a step toward mutual success.